Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing the next part of our video, and this one's going to be pretty short. We're just going to be going over how to get your sprites to change while you move around the room. So I'm pulling in some of my sprites from uh, that I worked on from before. It just shows me existing, and so what my sprite does is it just goes up and down, and that's my idle animation. I also have a jumping sprite. It just has 2 frames, up and down, nothing fancy. This is whenever I am jumping up. This is whenever I am falling down. And finally, a walking sprite. This sprite just shows me walking. You can, of course, have whichever sprites you'd like. I'm just going to be doing my example based off of this. You need to, if you want to follow mine exactly, you need 3 sprites, an idle, a jump, and a walk. So with our player code, again, because we had everything nicely organized, all we need to do is go into our player state move portion. And at the very bottom, we need to figure out what sprite we're supposed to be doing. So our first thing we're going to do is if we are not on the floor, let me increase the size of this for everyone. If we're not on the floor, then that tells us, okay, we're jumping. This is jumping. And so we have 2 portions. We, of course, want our jumping animation whenever we're going up, and then a falling animation whenever we're going on the downward trajectory. The way I want to set this up is I have, first, I need to switch my sprite. If I'm no longer on the floor, then the sprite underscore index needs to be updated to be equal to SPR underscore, so not SPR, S player jump. This represents my player sprite. And so it will now be doing the upward and downward animation. However, as we know, we are not actually going to be doing the full jump animation. I need to be checking if I'm going up versus going down. I only have 2 frames. This is supposed to be the upward one, this is the downward one. Rather than breaking these into 2 separate sprites, I figured it would be easier just to have it as one sprite and do a little bit of code to switch which one it is we need to have. So if we're not on the floor, the sprite index is the jump. But which of these jumping frames? Image speed to be equal to 0. I only have 1 frame. I want it to stay at that 1 frame. And so if sprite index, or sorry, this will be vertical speed. Vertical speed is greater than or equal to 0. I want to have image underscore index to be equal to 1, the first one. And our else clause will have image index set to be 2. This should force us into the correct frames. Then we'll be set for just having our sprite moving up and then going down. But what if we're not on the floor? Our else clause, we have our image speed set to 1, whatever it's supposed to be. This is a percentage, so 0% means it freezes. 100% means we're good to go. Then the next portion is simply we're checking if we're moving. If horizontal speed is greater than 0, we need to move. Else, our sprite index will simply be equal to S player idle. Otherwise, our sprite index will be our S player walk. But this only handles us walking in one direction. It does not, however, handle our ability to actually move or appear to be moving in the correct direction, which is if we're moving to the right, we move right. If we're moving left, we move left.
Yeah.
So in here, right now our sprite, I need to edit a couple of things. That is a very important portion. If we go over into our workspace, we need to make sure the sprite is the correct sprite, sprite idle. It uses the correct collision mask, otherwise we're gonna run into a couple of problems. Also, let me switch it how it looks inside the room so it's not colliding. There we go. And now we have it perfectly moving just fine. I can jump just fine. Our only issue is now if I move backwards, it is not facing the correct direction. So going back into our code, this is supposed to be if the horizontal speed is not equal to 0, we do that. Our last check is outside of this, but this is all we need, and it'll take our sprite and scale it appropriately and make sure it's facing the correct direction. Then we'll be good to go. That's all I've got for this one. Everyone have a good one, and I will see you all next time.